One of the important things is course reports and evaluations, which are an integral part of the course reports. You will always notice that these reports are crucial for understanding the progress and performance of each student, especially in various subjects and content areas. Course specific. What do we mean by the content areas of the course? For example, you created content that includes folders for the first unit, PDF files, as well as assignments and activities. All of these are considered content because when we talked about creating a content area, what did we include? We included elements, files, and folders, all of which are part of the content. Also, assessments, tests, assignments, and activities are all included in the content. Even here, the items listed in this menu indicate that these are elements in the course menu. Also, assessments, tests, assignments, and activities are all included in the content. The items in this list indicate they are part of the course list. When students access it, you can request an overview of their activities or a general course overview. The 9 report types each have a circle with a downward arrow. Click it and then run to execute the assessment and a page will appear. We hope it works after the recent data update, as there were issues with the reports. It's a bit slow now, but manageable. It shows all students in the class. For example, you can select student 5. The 9 types of reports in front of you, you will find that each one of them has a circle on its left and a downward arrow. All you have to do is click on it and click on something called Run to run this management or run. And this page will appear to you. We hope it works, because there was a data update and the reports had issues. It's a bit slow now, but it's okay. It brings all students in the class here. You can select student 5 and the report will be for that student only. You can specify the time period for the report from the semester start to end or a specific period like a week or a day. For example, set it from July 1st to November 7th. Click submit and wait for the report. It will show if the student had any activity during that time. If the period is from the 9th to the 15th, it will indicate any student activity. If none, it will show no activity record. The report is for a specific student. You can specify the time period for the report, such as from the semester start to end, or a specific period like a week or a day. For example, set it from July 1st to November 7th. Click Submit to process the request and generate the report. The report will show all activities during the specified period. If the period is from the 9th to the 15th, it will indicate any student activity. If none, it will state no activity. If there was activity, it lists items like tests or exams, showing access times and frequency. Each item records time spent and access frequency. Everything is covered. You will wait for the request to be processed, and the report will show everything regarding whether the student had any activity during those 7 days or within that specified time period that you set from the 9th to the 15th. If there was no activity, it will indicate that there is no record of any activity for the student. However, if there was activity, you will find that it writes here, for example, the tests or the final exam. It will mention the final exam and then write down the time the student accessed it, how many times they entered that final exam, and everything will be detailed here. Each item will be recorded, including how much time the student spent on it and whether they accessed it once or multiple times. Everything will be covered. But if, for example, there was no activity, you will notice that it says no activity found for this student. In this part, but if, for example, there is no activity, you will notice that it says no activity found for this student. Since there are updates on the system, if you go in and generate this report, it will immediately show that for any student, this part indicates that no activity was found until the updates on the system are completed. After that, the report will show accurate results, God willing. But this is from the point that I wanted to. Let me clarify for you that there is a part about the reports. You need to specify which type of report you want, then run it. After that, you can choose whether you want it in PDF, Excel, or Word format. You also need to specify the time period, from when to when. For example, if I need to select all the students, I can either select all of them, as I did with the time, or I can select, for instance, by pressing the keyboard, or I can click with the mouse to choose these 3 students, or select all using the keyboard. All of this is available to you. Then you just click the Submit button, and it will start processing to generate the report. So that's the part related to the report. So I can specify or select everything just like I did with the time. Or I can select, for example, by pressing the keyboard and keep clicking with the mouse to choose these 3 students, or select all using the keyboard. All of this is available to you. Then you just click the Submit button to start processing so that the report can be generated. So this is the part related to the report. Related to what? To the report. So Is there anything unclear about the things we've seen together just now? And a performance dashboard, such as detailed course reports, comprehensive users data, and extensive information. If there's anything unclear, we can clarify it for you again or provide further clarifications if needed at any time. Good. Do you have any questions about the exam period now? About the exams, about the assignments? Because all of these things are important. I always emphasize to you the part related to assignments and the part related to tests. It's a very important aspect. I always notice that some people might do what? You see the phrase tests October 16th, for example. That's a link. The student is supposed to click on that link and they should enter this page where they will find the test link and access the test. Sometimes I find that this link is hidden. As you can see, the link is hidden. So when the student tries to access the course and goes to the test for October 16th, they won't find this link. If the student can't find this link, then they won't be able to click on it to enter the test itself. Therefore, I always advise you that this link must be visible. It's crucial to make sure the link is displayed. The most important thing is to show the link. The student is supposed to open this link and they will go to the page to find the test link and access the test. Sometimes I find that this link is hidden. So when the student tries to access the course and goes to the tests for October 16th, they won't find this link. If the student can't find this link, then they won't be able to click to enter the test. Therefore, ensure the link is visible. It's crucial. The second important thing I notice is that for tests, such as the final exam, some people might, when creating the test, set the availability for students to no. If I click submit now, in this case, no means what? And when they go to the tests, the link is missing. So if the student can't find this link, they can't access the test. Ensure the link is shown. The second very important thing I always notice is that for tests, such as the final exam, some people might set the availability for students to no. If the student enters, the test is unavailable. Students won't see it. So please, when you create the test, don't leave the settings set to no. Set it to yes. The second important thing I notice is when creating a test, for example, the final exam, some people might set student availability to no. If I press send now, no means if the student enters, the test is hidden. So make the test, set it to yes. Some people wonder why availability is no. They think if availability is no, the test is not available to students. Some say they fear students will see the test early before the scheduled time and access it. If the student enters and the item is unavailable, the test won't be accessible or visible. Ensure the test settings are yes, not no. This is crucial. Some set availability to no, making the test inaccessible. They fear early access, but setting a future display date prevents this. For example, set it for November 8 Thursday from 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. and it will be available for 1 hour. Some people wonder why the availability is set. If set to no, the test is unavailable. So at test time, students won't find it. Some say they fear students will see the test early before the scheduled time and access it. How will they access it if the display date is later? Even if set for tomorrow, the 8th from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m., it is available for 1 hour. So, is it available tomorrow from 4:30 to 5:30? Before then, it won't be available. Even if set to yes, it won't be accessible until then. So how will he access the times if you set the display date after that? Even if you set the display date for tomorrow, for instance, specifically on the 8th, which is Thursday, November 8th, and you set it for approximately 4:30 p.m. until 5 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. in the afternoon. It will be available for 1 hour. Available tomorrow, 8th, 4:30, 5:30. Set availability to yes for that date and time. Set to no, not available. Add announcement, part of test settings. Won't activate unless display date time set. Set availability to yes. Add announcement. Specify display date time. Without display date time, won't work. Availability yes needed. No means students can't see test. Better to set availability yes. Add announcement. Set display date time. Before no, after no. So don't worry and say, I'm going to set it to no. No, keep it as yes. That's fine. No problem. You can also add an announcement. That's not an issue because availability and announcements are both part of the test settings. They won't work or be activated during that time unless you set the display date and time correctly. So just set the availability to yes, add an announcement, and don't worry at all as long as you've specified the display date and time. So just set the availability normally, add an announcement, and don't worry at all as long as you've specified the display date and time correctly. But if you say, no, I'm not going to set the display date and time, then it won't work. The availability must be set to no. And if you set the availability to no, then the students won't see the test at all. It won't be available to them. So it's better for you to set the availability to yes, add an announcement, and set the display date and time. And there's no problem. There's no problem with that. Force completion for free. I wish completion was free. Why? Because enforcing completion forces the student to, when they enter the test, for example, if the test duration is 60 minutes, or 40 minutes, or 50 minutes, the student exited the test at the 5th minute due to a problem. With the completion requirement, they can't re-enter or continue, which can be an issue for some. As long as they exited and you had set the completion requirement, they won't be able to enter again. They won't be able to continue. It's not like they can start their test from a new point. No, we say they can continue their test, meaning if they were at the 5-minute mark and something happened that caused them to exit, when they return, for example, at the 8-minute mark, they should be able to continue from the 8-minute mark and finish until the 50-minute mark without any issues. However, since you activated the completion requirement, it means that once they exit, they can't enter again. This creates a problem for some students who actually face issues. So this is also one of the points to consider. But since you activated the completion requirement, it means that once they exit, they won't be able to enter again. This creates a problem for some students who actually face issues. So this is also one of the points to consider.